welcome to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. My name is Samantha Genzer, and I'm going to be your guys' show host for you guys today. We have a very exciting episode for you guys. We're going to be covering the alternates in the gymnastics team for the Olympics and how they did at the trials, NWSL updates regarding the Kansas City Current, North Carolina Courage, and Utah Royals, full track and field roster for Team USA, Stanford pitcher Najeri Kennedy, and the transfer portal. And make sure you guys stay till the end of the show to hear about some MMA updates. Before we begin, I wanted to ask you guys to like and subscribe to the show and to become a part of our show to tip and donate using the link gsmcpodcast.net. Also, we do get a lot of questions that come in from viewers during the show, so to ensure that your questions and comments get read on the air, I ask that you use the link gsmcpodcast.net. Sorry it was taking so long to load right there. We're having, I guess, some technical difficulties. I don't know. Anyway, so this puts your questions at the top of the list so that I see them, and of course, it really helps the show. Again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net. Now, let's get started. I hope you guys enjoy today's content. Okay, so we're starting today's show by talking about the gymnastics Olympic trials. Yesterday, we recapped how the top 5 gymnasts did, and those are the gymnasts that made the Olympic team. Those gymnasts are Simone Biles, Sunisa Lee, Jordan Childs, Jade Carey, and Hez Rivera. Today we're going to talk about the 2 named traveling alternates and the 2 named non-traveling alternates and how they did, and then I will answer the question, who would Shilese Jones, Skye Blakely, and Kayla DiCello replace in the team lineup? That's a question with a lot of answers. So just to recap a bit, 3 people who were strong contenders for the team, including as alternates, experienced injuries, and they had to drop out of the competition. Those people were Kayla DiCello, Shilese Jones, and Skye Blakely. In another video, I am planning on talking more about, we're actually covering that today, so never mind, forget about that. But if you want me to cover more about their injuries and stuff, and such, then feel free to leave a comment and I can make another segment and video talking about that. But I'm really hoping that they get better soon and they have a smooth recovery process. It is really unfortunate that they worked so hard and they had to undergo an injury that ruined their chances of making the team, something they have been working for their entire careers. So before we start talking about the alternates, I wanted to answer just one quick question really quickly because there's been a lot of things in the media about this. And I am going to address one comment I'm getting here is to talk about the NFL. I wish I could, but unfortunately, never mind. Okay, so moving on, back to gymnastics. Okay, so a lot of the questions that's been circling in the media because I don't know why. Well, I do know why, but a lot of people are asking, why did USA Gymnastics choose Hez Rivera? Rivera is only 16 years old in her first year of senior level gymnastics. She competed alongside Biles and other Paris-bound athletes for less than a year, but that's literally all she needed to secure her spot in the 2024 games. Well, and plus the hard training and all the technical skills and everything she has. Don't get me wrong. But the selection committee chose the top 5 all-around finishers at trials for the Olympic team, the same technique they used for the 2020 games. But to some, it seems strange the selection committee went with someone who was 16 years old rather than someone who has the experience and level of difficulty like Roberson and Wong. But here are the other reasons why she was chosen. And I personally think she is a good person to have on the team, and it makes sense to me, and it was well-deserved. Besides her podium finish, Rivera fits the bill perfectly. Team USA needed another strong contender on beam, which is one of the events Rivera really excels at. She tied with Joscelyn Roberson for the highest 2-day score on the event. Additionally, Rivera added the most depth on bars, finishing behind Lee, Childs, and Biles. Her assets flowed in the team's need perfectly, making her selection the most reasonable option. Also, given recent injuries, the selection committee went for a gymnast who could act as a built-in alternate in some way should an emergency affect any of the other 4 Riveras there to fill in on any event and put up a decent score. Her consistency at trials, wow, can't speak. Her consistency at the trials really proved that position. So in elite gymnastics, peaking at the right time is the utmost importance. Rivera did just that. In her first senior competition of the Winter Cup, she claimed the all-around bronze as well as gold on beam and bronze on floor. In the national championships in early June, Rivera finished 6th in the all-around, 5th on bars, and 4th on beam. While it didn't warrant a medal, it was a massive sign of what was to come in the next few weeks. At 16, Rivera is by far the youngest female gymnast headed to Paris. But if a breakout star is what Team USA needs to win the gold, then a breakout star is what they get. So now let's talk about Joscelyn Roberson, who finished in 6th with an all-around score of 110.975. She's an incoming freshman at the University of Arkansas, and going to the Olympics is one way to make your name known at your new school. Roberson finished 4th on vault and beam. Wait, did I say vault and beam? No, she finished 4th on vault and floor. I don't even know what I just said, but she finished 4th on vault and floor, and then she tied for 2nd on beam. No, she didn't. 3rd, I believe it is. Oh my gosh, wait. Now I don't have that in my notes, and I sincerely apologize, but she did very good on beam. Okay, so prior to the Olympic trials, Robertson had never scored 55 plus points in an all-around competition, but earning mark of 55.475 after Friday's preliminary competition. The career high held for only 48 hours as she bested herself with a 55.5 in Sunday's final. Her beam score was a 13.925 on day 1 and a 14.05 on day 2. She was really happy with how she did on the beam. One of the things that sets her apart is she's very, very consistent. On the vault, she brought a lot of power, finishing with a score of 14.325 on the first day and 14.5 on the second day. Her uneven bars was her weaker event, but her level of difficulty helped her a lot, securing a 13.3 on day 1 and 13.025 on day 2. Lastly, her floor exercise got a 13.925 on day 1 and day 2. In 7th place was Leanne Wong, who is the other traveling alternate, and she received an all-around score of 110.425. She was a member of the gold medal winning teams at the 2022 World Championships and 2023 World Championships, and she was an alternate for the 2020 Olympic team. Wong opened the meet debuting her Cheng vault, earning this evening's 3rd highest vault mark at 14.45. She had a clean uneven bars performance and a small bobble on an otherwise solid balance being routine. Her uneven bars got a score of 13.15 and her beam got a score of 13.224. Her floor exercise score was dinged by a step out of balance on her opening tumbling pass, but otherwise it was executed perfectly. She got a score of 13.925, and then on the second day, she improved on her day 1 scores for vault, balance beam, and floor exercise with an uneven bars mark just 0.025 away from day 1's mark. She opened the evening with a clean uneven bars routine. In performance, Wong made her biggest score improvements on balance beam and floor exercise. She kept deductions to a minimum on beam and had no out of balance to ding on today's floor score. Her beam got a score of 13.65 and her floor got a score of 13.625. Wong closed her competition landing her Cheng vault to earn the evening's 3rd highest vault mark at 14.5 on the second day. So following the meet, Wong said, quote, "Day 1 wasn't super strong, but I came into day 2 wanting to leave it all out there, and that's what I did today. I'm super proud of my new vault. I never would have imagined myself competing at the Olympic trials, so I'm super grateful for that," unquote. So now let's talk about the 2 non-traveling alternates. Tiana Sumanasekera finished in 8th, and she's also only 16 years old. She got an all-around score of 109.55. She's a beast on the beam, and she absolutely slayed in that event. I absolutely loved her floor routine as well. The routine itself is beautiful, and she also executes the dancing choreo. What was I even trying to say? She executes the dancing choreo and leaps flawlessly with her long legs and perfectly pointed toes. Sumanasekera actually beat Simone Biles in the beam, getting a score of 13.95, so literally 0.05 above Biles. She finished 2nd overall on the beam and 6th on floor. Her floor exercise got a score of 13.875 on the first day and 13.725 on the second day. Her vault got a score of 14.15 on the first day and a 14.35 on the second day. Her uneven bars was, her weaker event, so at as she sort of had her feet and legs come apart slightly on some parts, which caused a bit of deductions. She also did not match the level of difficulty as some of the other competitors that placed higher. Her even bar score was a 12.725 on the first day and 12.825 on the second day. Kaliya Lincoln finished in 9th, which got her that position as the second non-traveling alternate. Coming in the trial, she was not getting much attention, and she was sort of the underdog. She was not predicted to be an alternate or on the team at all, but she was considered a fierce competitor. I'm really happy that the opportunity opened up for her, though. Don't get me wrong. Her vault and floor were really strong both days. She got a 14.225 on the first day and a 14.25 on the second day of the vault. And for the floor, she got a 14.15 on the first day and 13.65 on the second. She went out of bounds a couple of times, which caused her deductions, but honestly, that typically happens because the gymnasts are using so much power that causes them to go out of bounds. It's something she needs to watch out for, and everyone needs to watch out for, really. Simone Biles has struggles with it too, but that's because she uses so much dang power to get those high, insane, crazy flips that she does. So yeah, that's something everybody can look out for. But the uneven bars and balance beam were her weaker events. On the bars, she got a score of 13.45 on both days. And on the first day, she got a 13.05 on the balance beam. And on the second day, she got a 13.175. To end this segment, I want to answer the question, who would Shilese Jones, Kayla DiCello, and Skye Blakely have replaced? And that's a hard question to answer. Before I answer the question, I want to say that I'm really, really, really happy with how the 9 people placed and how the team looks, including the 4 alternates. I would not change a thing because this team is extremely strong. But to answer this question, I think Shilese Jones or Skye Blakely would have gotten that 5th place spot, which would have made Rivera possibly an alternate, since the selection committee probably would have wanted that 5th place spot still to be the 5th person on the team, if that makes sense, and then alternates following along like 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, like all that, like how they have now. I think Kayla DiCello would have ended up as an alternate again, but definitely as a traveling alternate. My best bet is that she would have taken Joscelyn Roberson as a traveling alternate, and that would mean that either Roberson would still be an alternate or a non-traveling alternate. I think if DiCello took her spot as a traveling alternate, Roberson would become a non-traveling alternate, and then Kaliya Lincoln might not have been listed as an alternate, and then Leanne Wong would have came in still and been an alternate. Does that make sense? I really hope that makes sense, because I'm like, it makes sense in my brain. But that is just my guess as to what would have happened. I do think that these 3 gymnasts would have placed in the top 10. I really hope the best for these 3 gymnasts, and I hope they still continue to train, as they have worked very, very hard, and I think they have a strong chance in the 2028 Olympics. I hope for the smoothest and quickest recovery possible for all of them, and it's really upsetting, their injuries, but still we have to recognize how hard they worked and everything. So we're now going to switch to our next segment where we're going to talk about some NWSL updates. Before we get into that, we are going to be taking a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon.